conventional human system.
That matters? So, like, how do you feel when you're breaking full?
Yeah, man!
Good morning, you beautiful star signs. The earth says hello. You twinkle above us, baby. We twinkle below. Nalgene bottle. Not sub-sponsored. Good morning. How is it going? I have some energy. I've been waking up super early, so I feel a lot better about myself. My confidence is teeming. And I figured that I would drop in, say hello to my little friends. My great friends. Let you know what I am reading, what's currently going on besides construction. Right outside of my window. I am reading 2 books right now, which is kind of strange for me because usually I just keep my focus on one, try to really digest and understand what's going on, and then I go into another book. I kind of see it as a reward sometimes to go on to another book. But I am walking like crazy. My walking appetite is just insatiable right now. I am walking like a mad woman. I don't know what it is. It's like, don't ask me to do anything else. All I want to do is walk, baby. So I reached out to the Discord, the Al-Khadi's Discord, and I had a couple of suggestions. I had a couple of nonfiction recommendations, and I had some fiction recommendations. And of course, I'm a nonfiction queen, so naturally I gravitate towards that. And Hannah May, the artist formerly known as Let's Talk About Books Baby, suggested that I read Unicorn, which I think I'll put right here, by Amrou Al-Khadi. And this is a memoir of a Iraqi-born drag performer and their relationship to their faith, their family, their understanding of their sexuality and who they are as a person, politics within the realm of drag performance, and everything that goes with it. I just started it yesterday. I'm about 2 hours into listening to it, and it's fantastic. They have a way to make even the darkest of situations very easy, lighthearted, humorous. They are a writer, a columnist, I believe, in addition to being a drag performer, so they have this take on words that's just flowing very easy, and it's a very fast-paced memoir and very enlightening about a subject that I mean, I love drag, okay? Baby, okay. John Waters, Divine, like childhood, yes. Pearl, my favorite. Is that a hot take? Maybe. I love Pearl. I mean, I love drag. I think it's a fantastic art, and to have someone write their story, sometimes, you know, brief little clips of drag histories, but I feel like to read about a drag history that's incredibly frowned upon, it was formerly a taboo subject, but now it has become something that's incredibly mainstream and applauded, but to hear someone's story that comes from an even deeper repression and taboo is really, really interesting, and I'm liking it so far. It's making me really excited to go on my walks. And following that, I have Frederic Gros's. Frederic Gros is, I believe, how you say his name. I'm literally killing it. I'm massacring pronunciations, and I look them up. I just have a very fleeting memory of how to say it. So I'm reading Frederic Gros' Disobey. This has been on my physical TBR for a while. I was captivated by the cover. I had formerly read his A Philosophy of Walking, which I loved. She's a walker. I'm very fortunate to be able to do so, and I loved it. That was a book that took certain philosophers and their relationship to walking, certain cultures, certain religions' relationship to walking, and why they sink into this habit so easily. This is more of studying cultures and religions and instances in history and why people were capable of completely ditching the notion of saying no and just complying with anything that was presented in front of them. It's very brief. It's actually pretty easy to understand. What I like about Gross's writing is that, of course, with every philosophy, he references a ton of different angles and different interpretations of things, but his is just pretty accessible, I would say. It's not incredibly chunky, and you don't also look like a total when you're carrying around a philosophy book. I think sometimes it has the connotations of being like, I am the best. But this is great. You know, I really enjoy it. I think it's dissecting a lot of parts of history that we're very aware of, but to just kind of get into the mental spaces of why people were afraid to say no. What are the repercussions of groupthink? I wouldn't say it's my favorite thing I've ever read, but I'm happy that I'm pairing it with something incredibly lighthearted, because I feel like philosophy can definitely be a little dense. You know? Yeah. Today it is cold. I need to get a jacket. I do. I'm gonna be going to Bulgakov's house today. This was apparently where he wrote The White Guard, and it is kind of a parallel between the characters in The White Guard and his own life. It's actually in a wonderful part of Kiev called Podil. It's like something out of a dream world, so of course, can't wait to see that. Let's get funky, baby. Let's get funky. Also, do we love the fit? Wrinkle City, Wrinkle Nation, but like a 90s belt, some bodysuit, you've seen it, you know it, and a little baby sweater, which I will hopefully be able to take off, though I doubt it. This weather is really cold and deceiving. Okay, bye-bye. And here we are. Well, I may not have been able to understand a single goddamn thing that my lovely tour guide was saying, but did I enjoy every single moment of it? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now, this is arguably my favorite part of Kiev. I love it. It's very antiquated feeling. Everything, all of the architecture is very old, stunning though. And there's always a market, so you can purchase things. And it's really unbelievable. Every time that I do these house tours of authors, it's just like this quaking feeling of knowing that yes, it's a tour, it's a tourist sort of attraction, but at the same time you have to put yourself in the mindset that you are actually walking where these authors walked, where their inspiration was throbbing, for lack of a better word. And it's really, I don't know, inspiring. It just makes you feel like these idols, these people that you read their words and you think it's unbelievable that someone could think that way, is in fact human and grounded and stuck to something that's lasted even longer than them. Their words have lasted, their homes have lasted, but they have not lasted. But their ideas have, which is arguably the most important thing. My lungs aren't lasting. But here's a beautiful church. Morning world. Ooh. Do I look a little hungover? I might be. Can I prop you on my foot? No, it's not gonna work. I just wanted to give you a little update. I'm probably gonna finish Disobey today. What do I think of it so far? It's kind of dragging. Definitely dragging, as I think a lot of philosophy does, which is totally fine. It's a nice meditative way to take in everything that is going on in this. He's bringing up a lot of very valid points about people accused of doing horrendous acts and whether or not they were just doing their job or if they're under the guise of stupidity. It's going into a lot of authority and a lot of authoritative stances on things and why people are unable as a group to get away from those notions. He also goes into experiments and how people, when given the right to authority, completely obliterate their best judgment and go towards the worst. It's like this mental steroid that just makes them completely lose their prior moral ideas and become aliens of destruction. So there's that. And then Unicorn Baby. That's pretty good. It's kind of a lighthearted story. Right now, they are talking about how there was this salvation. There was this breakthrough in their childhood once they found marine biology and how they were able to notice this fluidity in the fish and the animals and how they were able to kind of attach onto that ideology themselves and understand their identity as a queer individual and to see representation where they had not previously seen representation in their religion and their previous home, Iraq. I'm enjoying it. You know, I don't know if I chose the best books this week. I don't know if it's also because it's getting gray in Ukraine, but I don't know. I'm not like feeling the love from everything. I'm not like 1,001% enjoying everything, but that's okay. Sometimes you gotta do it, but I'll definitely finish this today and hopefully get more accomplished with Unicorn. Do you see me at my worst? So now you can take me at my best. All right? That's how it goes. Bye-bye. mind if I talk to you about books? Good morning. How is it going? I'm wearing 2 sweaters. 2 full sweaters. It is freezing right now. I'm in a town called Lviv, which is too good to be true. I don't think I deserve to be here. It's too damn beautiful. But I'm here, and I am about to go to the mountains after this, so I figured that I would do a little update before I do that and hopefully get this video out in time. Video? And I wanted to let you know my final thoughts on the books that I have completed. I think I gave a pretty good idea of what these books were about, so now I'll just kind of cap them off really quickly and give you the final thoughts on them. Good, bad, ugly, in between, happy, sad, mad, a little bit of all. So first and foremost, I will start with Unicorn, or Life as a Unicorn. I think it was formerly published as Unicorn, and now I think it goes by the title Life as a Unicorn. So Life as a Unicorn. I finished that yesterday in the car while we were driving here. I thought it was really good. You know, I was previously unfamiliar with who Amrou was as a performer and as a person in general. They weren't super popular with American audiences. I imagine in England they're much more popular, but I was really happy to hear this story. I think especially because Amrou narrates the story themselves, I think it totally takes a different wave to the narrative. Makes it much more like you're actually in their head. You know, there's nothing worse than having a memoir be read by somebody entirely different. It's a little bit more robotic, you know. It's like trying to have an actor tell these horrific moments from their life or exciting moments and just have it kind of fall a little flat. So I think the whole experience of listening to it was fabulous. So thank you again, Hannah May, for that. Can't recommend that enough as an audiobook. As far as the material inside of it, I think that I enjoyed it much more in the beginning. I think that the way that Amrou wrote about their formative years, it felt like he was a little baby deer wobbling through life, and it was so humorous and it was so relatable. It was just this awkward Bildungsroman, this awkward experience of growing up and not really understanding fully who you are. Towards the end, I did think that I'm very used to reading incredibly negative books, but I think towards the end I really was hurting in a way that I'm very comfortable with in memoirs, but I don't know, I just wanted there to be some sort of positive light, and there definitely was in parts, but it just wasn't as much as I wanted it to be. But I guess it's wrong of me to say that that's the critique, because that isn't, you shouldn't be critiquing somebody else's life like that. So I don't know. I liked it a lot. I thought that it was so well written. I thought the humor was there and you know exactly who they are. Did I think that it was the most fantastic memoir I've ever read? No. But I thought it was very good, and I think that if you are familiar with who they are as a performer, definitely read it. So good. Even if you aren't, I think that it's enlightening to hear this story and enjoy it the way that it should be enjoyed. My arm is getting tired. My hair looks like a little deer. I think there's something great in there. And then I finished Disobey, which, baby. I think the only philosopher that I'm going to read after this is Thoreau, because there was a section in this book where Frederic Gros was talking about Thoreau. He has this absolutely insatiable magnetism towards Thoreau, which I totally understand. I feel like I have this compelling desire to want to read Thoreau now, solely because of what Gros has turned me on to want to read from him. One of the most captivating chapters towards the end was talking about how Thoreau was a textbook nonconformist, and how there was this chapter about how he didn't want to pay his taxes, and he was accosted, put into jail for one day, and then his aunt ended up paying it. But his reasoning was because why should we? Why do we have to? And you know, it just makes you kind of think, why? Yes, of course you have to go to jail. Yes, of course these things happen. But at the end of the day, there's nothing else that is an external influence that should really change and alter our lives that much. It's a very, very natural existence. That kind of shook me a little bit, and I enjoyed it. But other than that, the book was kind of boring. It's like, how much more can you hear about instances of people disobeying or having acts of disobeying and stretching the definition of disobeying? I mean, I get that's what philosophy is, but sometimes it just feels like somebody's showing you their stamp collection for hours and you have literally no desire to hear about it anymore. I don't know, I give that one 3.5 stars. I don't know. Happy that I read those books. Thank you again to Hannah Mae. You're a legend. I thought that was a great audiobook experience and a good story. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully this turns out great. I had a whole idea of doing this within a cafe, but then that fell apart. All right. Bye.